Let's go back to the reverse. The opposite of accumulation and egocentricity is humility and service. At some point you will have to learn to serve humanity if you have not already done so. You can't get out of this evolution and go beyond it without first having served. At the end of your life, all the things that you ever did for yourself count as nothing. They have little or no value. The great empires you won and the battles you fought with others and all the striving will be worthless. There's only one currency of worth that you can take with you, and that is what you felt about humanity and what did you do for them. Did you love them and care for them? Did you go out of your way to make sure they were okay? Did you give them what you had? Did you share or did you hoard? Did you run to eat first or did you eat last? Nothing else counts. For all the other Ivory Tower stuff and empire building and triumph over others was all fluff. It showed how easily tricked you could become. And all the anger and hatefulness was just one ivory tower clanging as it fell against others. So, what have you done for others? That's the only question you will have to answer. If your karma is good, the question will be easy. You will humbly turn and wave your arm all around, and there will be all those that you have healed, and all those that you held in your arms when they were scared, and those that you provided for when they fell into misfortune. And there might be thousands of them, tens of thousands of them maybe. It's unconditional love, without having to get something back or expecting anything in particular. Do this. Sometime in the next week or so, do something valuable for someone without them knowing that you did it. Never mention it to anyone, and you'll soon get what I'm speaking of. There are people out there that you haven't met yet, that can't manage without you. They are like wounded children. They were given the wrong set of coordinates. Their life is bound to failure and misery, and what little meaning they have can be stripped from them in a second, and their cells will become polluted by their darkness, and the slippery path to the end is in sight. They have no hope, none. They will die surrounded by their ideals, surrounded by ugliness, surrounded by the dark forces. Only you can save them, if they want to come, that is. Now remember, you can't be of service if you feel obligated to do so through shame, guilt, and duty, or if your ego needs the whiteness of it all. Like, look at me, how marvelous I am, I'm serving humanity. Service is a silent thing that comes from a deep inner connection to the souls of other humans and the well-being of the animal kingdom. You serve because it's your destiny to do so, and you want to. It's a form of deliverance, and in delivering your own soul to a spiritual redemption, you also deliver others, and they will become your passport to the hidden doorway I've spoken of. It's all in the feeling of your humanity and in the expressing of it, how large your heart can become. It is in that you'll come to see the hidden door within you. Remember, to go into another world and see the celestial nature of it all, you have to cross a dark world to get there. I'll talk about the morph and the mirror world in the next session. I think you will find it very exciting and unusual. But first you have to look and see if you have a genuine spirituality inside you. Do you just pretend to be nice? Sometimes the living in the light approach that sort of New Age people espouse is sweet, but it isn't authentic, because it makes you into a suffering servant, or it causes you more pain than necessary. You aren't required to suffer other people's pain for them, and you are required, if you want a healthy lifestyle, to set boundaries. So you can say to somebody, listen, I truly love you and adore you, and, when you play the trumpet at 3 a.m, it's bloody irritating because I have to go to work at 5. Please stop or move out. And that is normal. So it's always to do with communication. It's always being there for them as a human, not criticizing them and making them wrong because they play the trumpet, but laying a boundary that says, look, if you want to play the trumpet, you're going to have to move out, brother. I know you're only 7 years old, but you'll have to figure it out, Or you got to listen to what Daddy says and you ain't playing the trumpet at 3 a.m, At the point when you can manage on your own, that's fine. Or maybe we can come to a middle ground and we can get a trailer for you at the end of the yard 4 miles away and you can go play there. So again, living in the light doesn't require a gummy approach where you let the world trash you and ride roughshod over your feelings. It's more, again, always being authentic, being true to people. So when it's driving you nuts, you can say so, but of course what happens is we make the mistake of coming out from a vindictive, critical approach. So we're saying, I'm squeaky clean and white, and I want to sleep, and you're jolly dark for playing the trumpet. But they're not dark for playing the trumpet, they love the trumpet. And maybe you staying up all night not sleeping is fine by them. They're not evil because they play the trumpet. So I think the main approach is one of not making people dark. Just accepting who they are and allowing them to be who they are, and then setting a boundary when what they are doing is detrimental or irritating or difficult for you. Anytime that you're showing your spirituality, you're in the shadow. The more squeaky white and clean and innocent you pretend to be, the more dark you actually are. That's your darkest moment, when you proclaim how wonderful you are. It's the healer that makes this great show of healing, or the guru that makes this great show of being wise, or the teacher that has this massive hall and 7,000 people come and touch her leg or something. That's a big load of Ivory Tower. Again, it's always humility. If you heal without them knowing that you've healed them. If you teach without ever realizing that you taught, because you taught by example. And that's the genuine healer. The genuine healer is one where you don't realize they've healed you. Or they've healed you very inconsequentially. They've sort of made a passing remark, and suddenly that passing remark clicks into your psychology, and you realize that the whole of your sickness comes to the fact that your relationship with your brother's toxic. So they healed you in that way. We all have to go through the sort of arrogance of enlightenment. We all go through elitism to work out how terrible it is. Some people never work it out and they go to their grave in this sort of elitist mindset. Enlightenment for many people is this sort of spirituality that they'll walk around in with a great sort of thing on their chest, you know, the medallion that people wear and that sort of stuff that expresses their spirituality. But that isn't a spirituality. The idea is to be spiritual without anyone ever realizing you are spiritual. So yeah, we go from being completely egocentric and unaware to being much more aware, and then we all go through the elitism of spirituality, believing that we've been chosen, which of course is one of the crimes of the fallen angel, is to be like a god. We seek to become as a god, higher than ordinary people. And at the other end of it, we realize we didn't need enlightenment, it was a pain in the neck. And so we burn all the robes and all of those gongs and all of that stuff. And then we walk out and we infiltrate back into society without anybody ever figuring out who we are.